Hello, everybody. All right, today is Thursday, June 27th, 2024. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in. As always, guys, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, grabs your attention. Feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. All right, so with that, we're just waiting around to see who else shows up, and hopefully my signal won't too much of a problem there. Didn't even added any of the shared screen stuff yet, but anyways, so um, yeah, so we did talk a little bit about, of course, the passing of Spencer Milligan last night. You know, nothing more came out about that. So, but as I said, give people a few minutes to come in to give people a few minutes to come in to oh, here we go. Give people a few minutes to come in. Again, if you guys haven't already, you guys can like and share the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. But now we have 3 people in here, so I guess maybe I will talk a little bit about what's on tap for tonight then. So tonight, of course, it's Thursday night. This is the night we normally go over the Indie Comic Showcase from Bleeding Fool. So we're going to introduce everybody to going to introduce everybody to some new comics coming out soon. Um, all right. So, anyways, um, also we'll have the wrestling wrap up a little later, as well as this day needs history. Let's see now. So, let's see. Anything else on tap? And I am aware that I know that the presidential debate's going on tonight, and maybe people are going to be wanting to go, watch that. I get that, but hopefully you guys will still, if you want to take a break from from all that hassle, you can always come over here and hang out here, talk things like comics and manga and anime, cartoons, pro wrestling, that kind of thing. Um, you know, those are more fun things to talk about. Huh. All right, so let's see. So yeah, we're coming up on 4 minutes here, so I think I will go ahead and get started then. So let me just do one more thing here. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and let me go pull up the article here. Alrighty then. So, Indie Comic Showcase number 278, Phenomenova, Interplanet, and Effing for Our Future. Article by Chris Braley, published yesterday. So let's get into this then. That last one sounds real interesting. Fornicating for our future. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comic Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self-publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle, and of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. On Indie Comic Showcase, we interview the creators, show off some art, tell you how you can check out the product for yourself. Um, Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. All right, so here's the first one from Nominova from Von Coleman. Let's see. Hey, Rick. Thanks for popping in. Of course, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So let's see, Phenomenova. Let's first off go grab by Von Coleman here. Let's go grab the link there and see what platform this one's utilizing. So this is a Fund My Comic project here. The Fund My Comic project right here. So Phenomenova. That's a very interesting name there. Let me just. All right, so there's a link to that one if you guys want to check that out. It's over on Fund My Comic. So let's see what Chris and Bon are saying about this comic now. Yeah, this a few minutes more. There's a link to that campaign if you guys want to go check that out. All right, so here we go. Phenomenova by Von Coleman. So Coleman, Cruz, Higgy. Then these pages witness the birth of a new phenomenon. All right, so Chris Braley. Welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Von. Hit me with your elevator pitch for Phenomenova. Von Coleman. It's 20 years after World War III. The idealistic son of a war hero is struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal and gains electricity powers and lightning speed. Sound familiar? He uses his newfound powers, dons a makeshift costume, and the name Galvanite, and sets off to become a superhero and stop a heist at a nuclear reactor, but finds himself in way over his head, fighting a supervillain that is totally out of his league. The giant-sized first issue is 65 pages of story, 68-page total. So big book there. Big book. Muy grande. Muy grande libro. Anyways. Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from and made you decide to self-publish it? Vaughn, I came up with this idea for a superhero movie when I was in second grade, and as my love for storytelling and superheroes evolved and led me to comic books, I decided it was the perfect fit. And then Chris will, of course, ask here, what kind of comic readers is this suited for? And who's it aimed at? Vaughn, this is aimed at comic book readers, new and old. In an age of deconstruction and cynicism, Phenomenova is an optimistic reconstruction and reconstitution of a genre I love dearly. This all ages comic book is made primarily for superhero fans and people who want to get into the superhero genre but have been unable to do so. I like the guy's got a pretty good view on the matter. Interesting topic. Goodnight Spoon is here. Spoonie! Why isn't Rick in the call with us? He's missing the escape room. I couldn't tell you that one there, Spoonie. Oh, anyways. Hi, Mike. Hi there, Spoon. All right, so continuing on here. Chris, tell us about your creative process, how you developed it. For this. Vaughn, coming from a screenwriting background, I shifted toward comic books as I found them to be a better fit for my ideas. As my ideas developed and as my love for the medium grew, my creative process is ever evolving. But I kept reinventing, adding to, revisiting, or revising, rewriting an idea I had ever since I was in elementary school over the course of many years until it became the Nominova. Because I needed it to be a story worthy of the potential I always knew it had, and and that potential needed to bleed through on the page. When I create in a medium, I want to make sure I am fully embracing and utilizing all of the best aspects of it. There's some of the artwork there for you guys. Oh yeah. Let's see. All right. Chris then asked, what other creators contributed to this project? And then Vaughn responds, my artist, Philip Cruz and Jesse Heggie, are creatively brilliant, super easy to work. I think he meant to say work, not worth. There's a typo, I believe. Work with, and are very receptive to feedback. They have shown the utmost dedication to helping me achieve my vision, and in many ways have made it better. My editor, Joseph Cervellin, my letterer, Jorge Medina, and my lead graphic designer, Bobby Chrysofis, have also done an amazing job in these areas. And I hope to bring them all back for issue 2 and onward, of course, without my comic book creator friends, some of whom aided me on my journey. I would never be where I am. Irene Strachalski, who did an amazing cover for the book, was one of the biggest supporters and best friends I could ever ask for. And there are others who aided me, such as Billy Tucci, Mike Barron, Graham Nolan, Justin Gray, Bill Diaz, and many, many others. I wish I could name all of the people who helped me, but just know that you are all appreciated. Every person who aided me on this journey, whether it was giving me feedback, working on my creative team, or just standing by me on this journey, thank you. Here's some more of the artwork, more of the panels there he is. Imagine coming upon a light like that, huh? Of course, before I read the next pair of paragraphs here, let's see. Any new comments have come in? Nope, I guess not. All right. As always, guys, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. And if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated as well. Well, let's continue on here with this article then. Chris, what's your production workflow like? And if it's not complete, how far along is the book? Vaughn, as of this interview, we are a mere 3 pages away from completed black and white artwork with over 50 pages colored and 30 pages lettered. The workflow has been a lot, but it has been well worth it. I have made many mistakes along the way, but while it was very slow in the beginning, as I've gotten to know each member of the creative team and work with them, I have slowly gotten a better grasp on how to best collaborate with people and create comics. I'm learning every aspect of the collaborative and creative process inside and out. But as I learn the process, I am also learning to trust the process. I am doing my best to correct and learn from whatever mistakes I make along the way to make the best comics possible. Here's, I guess, another cover here, Phenomenova. Let's see. All right, so Chris, what have you been learning from the self-publishing through this process? From self-publishing through this process, Vaughn? Then Vaughn responds, self-publishing is a ton of work, and promoting is a massive time sink, but it is one of the most important things you can do. There is so much I have learned, but one of the main things is to be relentless in your promotion and form your own fan base. Make connections, treat people with respect. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, but make sure you are driven by passion, a love for creating, and a desire to get your project out there above all else. Learn to love making connections with people, and don't worry about who hasn't backed your book yet as much as being grateful for those that have and those who will. Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Then Vaughn responds, Phenomenova will be an ongoing series akin to Claremont's Uncanny X-Men run and other such series. And I plan on doing a limited prequel series set during World War III called Crusader Corps. as well as other titles within the universe. And he said that this is following World War III, and the main character is actually the son of a World War III veteran. So I wonder if maybe he might be making that kind of connection too, where maybe we'll see the adventures of this main character's father. You know, I mean that's possible, right? Um, anyways, continuing on here. I also have other non superhero related titles I would love to do more of, including Land of the Lawless, a futuristic western centered around a hot blonde bombshell gunslinger that I already have a published 10-page story arc for, short story for. All right. Which can be found in the back of the Tragedy trade paperback by Philbo Publishing. Lots to do. I've already begun work on Phenomenova issue number 2 with 8 issues written, so this series comes first. Interesting array of heroes there, it looks like. Chris, any special features in this book or campaign you want to highlight? Um, then Vaughn responded, yes, all Fund My Comic backers will get an exclusive free mini print of our main antagonist, Dark Cloud, with art by Zachary Mawar and colors by Nick Capone. All variant covers will be crowdfunding exclusives, so once those campaigns are over and the orders are shipped out, those will no longer be available. Kristen asks, anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off? And then Vaughn responds, join our mailing list, follow me and Rebel Oasis Studios on all socials, and keep an eye out for any updates. This is only the beginning. We've got big things planned. And make sure you participate in our art contest. Winner gets their piece in the book. Chris, congrats on a successful campaign. All right, so there we go with that one. Interplanet by Jason Radak. Interplanet Janet is because you know it got canceled for tonight, GKS. Oh, I was not informed about that. When is it happening? All right. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next portion of the article here. Interplanet by Jason Radak. To get into the before we get into this, of course, let me go grab the link here. Find out what. And here's another Fund My Comic project. All right. Interplanet. I thought Elk would have informed you. We are working on that. I was suggesting Monday or Thursday. All right. So anyways. So there's a link to this campaign if you guys want to go check that out. That is a holy day here. All right. So, anyways, let's get into this. Interplanet by Jason Radak. The RPG feel to it there. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase. Jason, hit me with the elevator pitch for your comic Interplanet. Jason Radak, Interplanet #1, takes place on a medieval planet called Demiad, ruled by a council of evil wizards who control the population with secret police and insectoid soldiers. An off-worlder named Felix Mercador arrives with stolen military secrets from his home planet. Nearby Mungala, Felix spends a year under the watch of the secret police, trying to integrate into their society. He meets a beautiful princess named Ornala of the Arcazon tribe, which used to rule the planet, but are now relegated to ghettos. Felix and Ornala marry and have a baby, but their marriage is soon shaken by the events that threaten to bring war to their planets. They will have to fight to survive as the council sends their soldiers to capture them. Interplanet #1 begins a sci-fi fantasy saga of espionage and adventure. It is full color, 31 pages. Alrighty then. That's a pretty good take there. See if you guys are saying anything here. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you're busy or not. Or not next Thursday. I believe I will be. All right. So, anyways, as we continue on with the article here, so Chris then asked, where did the idea for this comic come from? And then Jason then responds, I have written a lot of horror stories and have published about 10 of them in various magazines and anthologies. After spending several difficult months writing a novella, which was then brutalized by my peers during a critique session, I realized I needed to find a fresh path to go down. I was aware of comic book creators using modern technology to produce independent comic books, so I thought I'd try writing a script. Interplanet would be both sci-fi and fantasy, since there are no limits on what you can do with the medium. The plot draws on espionage, conspiracies, and film noir. Because those things rock, and while legacy media isn't quite dead yet, I enjoy Yellowstone. Much of my entertainment comes from comedians and commentators taking advantage of podcasting and YouTube. Publishing is in a similar place. Original voices no longer have to appeal to the gatekeepers of mainstream media to be heard. Yes, that is quite true. Let me see. All right. Again, guys, if you guys can like and share, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, as we continue on here, Chris then asks, "Who is this comic aimed at?" Jason, my favorite comic books were the ones which immersed the reader in a strange and fascinating world with believable characters. Comics, which were the subject of teenage, quote, water cooler, unquote, discussions amongst my friends. Teen Titans, Swamp Thing, Daredevil, Cerebus, the Aardvark, Miracle Man. I don't claim to be as good a writer as Marv Wolfman or Frank Miller or Dave Sim or Alan Moore, but I think Interplanet will appeal to people who went to the comic shop every Wednesday to find out what happened next in those titles. And a new generation, I hope. Look at the aesthetics there of the planet that the main character ventures to. Chris, how would you describe your creative process? Jason, some unexpected spark plants an idea, which I develop in a casual manner until I feel I'm ready to start the first draft. In the case of Interplanet, I filled several spreadsheets with story notes because I knew the story was going to be complex with many twists and turns. Chris then asked, what other creators participated in this project? Jason then responded, Alan Otero provided the amazing artwork that brought Interplanet to life, as the characters that inhabit its pages. Leonardo Pacioretty di Maggio provided colors. I gave him free rein to use his creativity, and that choice paid handsomely. Carlos M. Mangual put letters to the page, and Tony Tyler drew a dynamic cover. I am the writer and publisher. That's how all this book came together, huh? All those people working together. All right, before I have it, let me see if there's anything new here. Nope. So Chris then asked, what's your production workflow like? How is the book coming along? Jason responds, the book is almost finished. I need the quote-unquote coming next issue page, and I'm thinking about what to put on the inside and back covers. And Chris follows up with, What have you been learning from creating throughout this journey? Jason, it's been great to collaborate with artists and letterers who have elevated my ideas to a higher level. I've never had that experience as a writer of short stories and novels. Forcing myself to go on Twitter to connect with other indie comic creators has been a little awkward because I'm just not that good at it. But overall, it has been positive, and I've had a lot of great interactions with all kinds of writers and artists in the indie scene. Chris, so there are more stories to tell in the interplanet universe. Jason, the Cold War between planets Dermiad and Mungala is fertile storytelling ground. Issue number 2 moves the action to Mungala, which is a whole different world with different kinds of action, intrigue, and villains. Also, I'd like to collect my published horror stories into a book and publish it independently. It sounds like the guy's got quite an ambitious workload in hand. Chris, any special features in this crowdfunding campaign, like special perks or tiers? Jason, as I'm dipping my toe into indie comic publishing for the first time, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible with a few moving parts. It's $7 for the book, plus shipping and handling. We'll get more ambitious with the next issue. Chris, excellent work. We're rooting for you, Jason. All right, so there we go with that one, and here we go. And we actually, I think this particular book was featured once before as well, so we will talk more about that. But anyways, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be right back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on some music while I'm gone, so it's not dead air. But I will be right back. right, sorry about that. I'm back now. So, anyways, getting back to, of course, the article here. All right, Effing for Our Future by Jesse Blaze Snyder. And I think we did talk about this one a bit before. It has a very interesting premise, as it were. Quite an eye catch, huh? All right, so first up, let's go grab the link. And this one's an Indiegogo project, looks like. Or no, actually, it's a Kickstarter project. All right. Alrighty then. So Kickstarter. All right. So let's see now. So here's the link if you guys want to go check that one out. That one sounds interesting just because of the title, right? And I think I have actually, of course, I think I have, covered this before. I think it's been on a, it's been a campaign that's been out there for a while. All right, so let's get into this. See where this one will go. Effing for Our Future by Jesse Blaze Snyder. So Chris Braley, welcome back to Indie Comic Showcase, Jesse. Briefly tell us the elevator pitch for your comic. Jesse Snyder, welcome to Planet Glon. For a millennium, this matriarchal paradise achieved procreation through cloning. Now there's only one way to save them. Wonder what that could be. Anybody want to venture a guess? I know. I remember there was I think it was in season 2 of Star Trek: Next Generation. They kind of touched upon this, the problems with constantly cloning a society where genetic degradation usually happens, and you're liable to die out unless you get back into you know what. So, but anyways, Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from, and made you decide to self-publish it? Jesse, I wanted to come up with a story reason to explain the nude covers. Okay, I've always hated nude covers because I felt like they went against the story in the book. Not so the case with our book. If there is a market for smut, that money should go into the hands of creators who care about the medium and are capable of delivering something better, something that could even, dare I say it, elevate the genre. Well, yeah, basically the whole idea of naked covers or naked material without substance. There's a word for that: fan service. The whole idea it's supposed to be an eye catch designed to grab your attention and titilize your fancies. All right. Huh. Not sure if YouTube allows those words in the chat. Well, basically that's why first off I say it, I don't say the full word, I say effing. Also, if you notice, I wrote it out the way they put it, with the star in between the F and the C. So, I can take a look real quick. Let's see. Well, I'm looking at the YouTube screen right now, of course, and there doesn't seem to be a problem. So there doesn't seem to be a problem. I mean, it is what it is. That's what Jesse titled the book as. I mean, what? Can't really do much about it. I know I was listening. I was teasing. Anyways. Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from and made you decide to self-publish it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We already read that part. And there it is again. Censored. That will definitely grab everybody's attention. The fan service. Chris, this isn't a kid's comic, then for sure. Jesse, it's definitely aimed at adults and really anybody with a good sense of humor. This book is unlike anything anyone has ever done before in any creative medium, anywhere. It's definitely going to shock some people. If you're over 18, you're invited to laugh. Well, definitely a rated R, I guess an MA comic, I guess is how the comic. Anyways, Kristen asked, "Tell me about your creative style and approach to making this comic." Jesse, created in collaboration with one of my best friends, the great Dizzy Arnold. We basically created this from a place of frustration after a company we were aware of made a $100,000 in one day offering what essentially amounted to boobs. Oh yeah, okay, I definitely know who this girl is, and 3 can play at that game. Not 1, not 2, but 3, right? Once we decided to do it, it came up with I came up with the basic premises, and we laughed our way. Okay, I think they meant to say our way through to total completion of the project before we even launched our fundraiser. That's how much we enjoyed making it. It's done. Between you, me, and the wall, Dizzy is a bigger name artist, having to conceal his identity from his corporate gigs. I'm a professional writer who has worked for Marvel, DC, Disney, Pixar, and the Muppets, and been published by almost every major publisher in comics. Hey, Chris, how far along is the book? Jesse, the book is completely done. Every single aspect of it, with the exception of inside cover, is completed. Um, and we've been kicking around some amazing ideas for issue number 2. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I do. I remembered covering this before because basically she had. I think Jesse had done a Fund My Comic campaign for this book as well. Chris then asked, your Fund My Comic campaign didn't hit the mark, but it looks like Kickstarter is treating you very well. What are you learning from crowdfunding through this process? Jesse, seems like I learn a few new things every day. There's really way too much to even mention. This is a process that you need to acquire 1,000 different skills to be really good at, the least of which is marketing. I'm really excited about our poster size edition of the book that includes posters of all amazing covers. Our colors, Rubian, um, really helped bring these covers to the next level. So here's some of the artwork here. Uh, all right, we continue on with the article here. As said, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. Okay, so Chris, do you have more stories in the works? Jesse, there are definitely more stories to tell here, but the second issue of my company's first fund, Andres King of Kings, number 2, is next on the docket. We raised like $6,000 for King of Kings, number 1 a few months ago, and will be coming back for a issue. I think that's supposed to be for issue number 2 in the next few months. Now, but for our future number 2, we'll be right on its heels. Some more of the artwork there. More fan service. They really accentuate the girl's breast there, don't they? See, anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off? Jesse, I am a comic book professional who has worked in the industry for well over 20 years and has been fed up for almost as long. It is my hope to reshape the world of comic book storytelling by injecting love and care into everything I do. I hope that you guys who want to see a better future in the world of fiction will support what I am doing here. There is so much more where this came from, and I know that you're all going to love it. Chris, excellent. Congrats on a funded campaign. Plenty of time left. All right, so that's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramping up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here. And follow Indie Comics Showcase on Twitter at Indie Comics and reach out to them for more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Or you can, of course, drop in here every Thursday, as that's usually the day we cover this article, and I will be glad to also provide the information for you guys as well. Until next time, support Indie Comics. Oh, there we go with that one. Oh, we're coming up on the hour mark here. So we do have some, we obviously have some news items to go and the wrestling wrap up to go over, and we'll get right to that. as we talk about. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about some WWE news. Of course, current WWE superstar D-Jack his contract will be coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be his last day with the company. So he's made that announcement. Also, of course, and kind of a link between the two companies. WWE superstar Rhea Ripley and AEW star Buddy Matthews have recently, they recently got married a few days ago, past Sunday in their native Australia. I believe that's probably why they basically, in order to help take him off TV so he could go get married, probably why he was beat up a couple weeks ago on Dynamite. So he could go do that. So speaking of Dynamite, speaking of AEW and Dynamite, as we do head into this weekend's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. On last night's Dynamite, of course, the night opened up with the Los Ingobernables de Japón trio of Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Titan defeated the Blackpool Combat Club trio of Claudio Castagnoli, IWGP IWGP champion, world champion John Moxley, and Ring of Honor pure champion Yuta by DQ when Moxley hit I think it was Titan or Takahashi with a chair, which led to a potential conflict between Takagi and Bryan Danielson, who Takagi will be facing this Sunday at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in an Owen Hart quarterfinal match. Speaking of the Owen Hart Foundation quarterfinals, in a quarterfinal match that was held last night, Switchblade Jay White defeated Rey Fenix. In a 6-woman match, AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm teamed with her opponent for this Sunday, Mina Shirakawa, and her protege Mariah May to defeat the Outcast of Harley Cameron and Saraya and Anna Jay. After the match, as Mina tried to get the upper hand on Toni heading into their match on Sunday. About ready, she's trying to hit Toni Storm with a wine bottle, only for Toni to avoid it, and Mina hitting Mariah instead. Now, an interesting little sidebar here. These two women. Toni Storm will be defending, of course, the AEW Women's World Championship this Sunday at Forbidden Door. Mina Shirakawa will be challenging for that title. But another little subplot's been playing out here. It's almost like this kind of, kind of like little almost lesbian lover squabble here. It's like, you got Toni Storm, who's, of course, Mariah May is her protege. Mariah May cares for Storm, but she also cares for Mina. Mina, Mariah having some previous history with Mina being her former tag partner in Stardom. Now you got this crazy little, it's almost playing out to where it's more than just about the title now. It's like you got two jealous women. And what's that old saying? Hell hath no fury, more like a woman scorned or something like that, right? How jealousy can rear its ugly head, and this is no exception. It's been kind of an entertaining thing to watch as it's been going down. I need to go check something real quick here. I'll be right back. But while I'm gone, I will go ahead. Music on. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I had somebody at the front door, so I had to kind of deal with that. Sorry everyone. I'm still at a volunteer staff meeting. All right. Anyway, well, thanks for popping in at least. But kind of towards the end of the show, we're actually doing the wrestling wrap up right now. I'm just going over some of the stuff from AEW here at the moment. I already went through some of the stuff WWE. So, anyways, getting back to what we were talking about. So, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. in preparation for his match with Orange Cassidy this Sunday. Defeated Kyle O'Reilly in a one-on-one match. In the main event from last night's Dynamite, in another match in which you have two Forbidden Door opponents teaming together. You have AEW World Heavyweight Champion George Strickland and International Champion Will Ospreay teaming up to defeat the Gates of Agony of Bishop Gunn and Toa Leona. Now, at the beginning of the show, before all the matches started, of course, there was a very interesting promo between MJF, Daniel Garcia, and Will Ospreay. Of course, MJF came out, then Daniel Garcia came out to kind of basically, hype up MJF. And then Will Ospreay came out to hype up Daniel Garcia and basically promised him a shot at the international title and potentially the world title on next Wednesday's Dynamite. So let's see now. With that now, we also are going to talk a little bit about what AEW will be doing over the weekend here. As they do have quite a few. They have we won't go over will probably just the most depth we'll probably go over will be most depth we'll probably go over is of course Forbidden Door on Sunday. But before we get to that, of course we have Rampage tomorrow night, and then Collision Saturday, and then on Sunday Forbidden Door. So on tomorrow, among the some big things to be looking for on Rampage tomorrow night. Let's see. Include a TNT Forbidden Door qualifying match. This is, I guess, to fill in the sixth and final spot. Del Fantasmo of New Japan will be taking on AR Fox. Winner of this match will be added to the ladder match for the TNT title at Forbidden Door. Also, you have Gabe Kidd of Bullet Club War Dogs teaming with Roderick Strong of Undisputed, taking on the Infantry. Orange Cassidy in his preparations for his upcoming match against Zack Sabre Jr. will be going in a handicap match in which he'll be taking on the Outrunners tag team of Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. So that's all on tomorrow night's Rampage. Then on this Saturday's Collision, among the things in the third of four women's qualifying matches, quarterfinal matches in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, Hikaru Shida will be taking on Deonna Purrazzo. We also have Orange Cassidy teaming with Tomohiro Ishii, and on the Mighty Don't Kneel duo of Robbie Eagles and Shane Haste. Stephanie Vaquer in her preparations to take on Mercedes Moné in the title match, which is taking on Lady Frost. And now let's talk about what's happening on Sunday at of course Forbidden Door. And the first off on the pre-show on 0 Hour, the pre-show. The matches for the pre-show include two in a battle in a tag battle involving two of the semifinalists in the women's bracket of the Owen Hart tournament. Willow Nightingale teams with Tam Nakano to take on the team of Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. The Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero Miedo, who is still with AEW at least until September, and Rey Fenix will be teaming with Mystico to take on the Los Ingobernables de Japan trio of Hiromu Takahashi, Titan, and Yota Tsuji. And then in the fourth and final women's quarterfinal match in the Owen Hart women's bracket of that tournament, Saraya will be taking on Mariah May. So that's on the pre-show. Now for the main show itself, for Forbidden Door on this Sunday, which will include opening in a 6-man tag match. You have the team of Hook, Samoa Joe, and Katsuyori Shibata taking on the Learning Tree of Big Bill and Chris Jericho and a mystery partner. Was announced on last night's Dynamite that the president of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, will be teaming with the Acclaimed of Anthony Bowens and Max Caster to take on the elite trio of AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, as well as AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, who are also the Executive Vice Presidents. MJF takes on Hechicero in a men's tournament quarterfinal match in the Owen Hart tournament. Bryan Danielson it will be taking on Shingo Takagi of Los Ingobernables de Japón. Also, as a reminder too, the winners of the Owen Hart tournaments in the men's and women will each be getting a title shot at All In, I believe. The men's winner will be getting a title shot at the men's world AEW World Heavyweight title, currently held by George Strickland. The women's bracket winner, will be getting a shot at the women's world title winner, at the women's world title, held currently by Toni Storm. Orange Cassidy is scheduled to take on Zack Sabre Jr. in a match for the AEW Women's World Title. Toni Storm will be answering the challenge of Mina Shirakawa of Stardom in a ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT title match. Already involved in the match, Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita, Lio Rush, Jack Perry, and Dante Martin, with the final spot being filled on I believe this weekend's Collision. We already talked about this, between El Phantasmo and AR Fox. John Moxley defends the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the man he defeated for the title of Los Ingobernables de Japón member Tetsuya Naito. And in a match for the AEW World Heavyweight title, Swerve Strickland defends against AEW International Champion AEW World Heavyweight AEW International Champion Will Ospreay. And of course, in a title versus title match, AEW TBS champion Mercedes Moné takes on New Japan Strong Women's champion Stephanie Vacour, the winner getting both titles. So somewhat of a title unification match right there. And with that, we have a little bit more in terms of wrestling wrap up, as on tonight's Impact on Access TV, TNA Impact on Access TV. And I can find it. Oh wait. On tonight's Impact on Access TV, let's see, Xia Brooks in a women's match. Xia Brooks' side takes on one half of the Knockout World Tag Team Champions, Masha Slamovich. In a three-way tag team match, Cody Deaner and Jake Something take on ABC of Ace Austin and Chris Bay and the Rascals. Kushida will be taking on Alan Angels. And in two Road to Slammiversary qualifying matches, as was announced last week, there was a six-way elimination match set for next month's Slammiversary. Already in the match, six-way elimination match. Already in the match, of course, is TNA World Champion Moose and Josh Alexander, who qualified last week. You have Sami Callihan and Steve Macklin, and Nick Nemeth and Rich Swann in the other two qualifying matches tonight, to see who goes on to be involved in those matches. So with that, we're done with that part. So now, with today being Thursday, June 27th, 2024, let's take a look back at this day in each history. Histories! 1994, 1999, 1984, and 2019. All right. So, on this date, and so heading back 40 years ago today, on this date back in 1984, Deke Enterprises' Rainbow Bright premiered on premiered on the Kideo TV block. Premiered in syndication, or released in syndication on this date back in 1984. So, 40 years ago today, Deke Enterprises' Rainbow Bright premiered in syndication on this date back in 1984, 40 years ago today. So there we go with that one. Moving ahead to 1994, 30 years ago today, where we will on this date, 30 years ago today, the first issue of Bruce Lee from Malibu Comics went on sale on this date back in 1994. Granted, this title did not have a real long run. It only had for 6 issues, but Bruce Lee, the primary feature, of course, being Bruce Lee, with a backup feature of Mortal Kombat. Malibu, another one of those companies that would, basically make comic adaptations from other properties, from other intellectual properties. This book, of course, sold for the cover price was $2.95 and was 40 pages. So 30 years ago today, Bruce Lee #1 from Malibu Comics went on sale on this date back in 1994. Moving ahead to 1999, on this date in 1999, the WWF, as we know it now today as WWE, the WWF, held its King of the Ring event at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. The main event of the show saw in a handicap ladder match, Shane and Vince McMahon defeated Steve Austin. Also in the King of the Ring finals, Billy Gunn, who is Mr. Rear End, or Mr. Ass, as it were, defeated X-Pac. Undertaker defeated The Rock to retain the WWF championship. The Hardy Boys, in the first of many classic matches, the Hardy Boys defeated the Brood, team we'd come to know as Edge and Christian. Let's see. Of course, there were King of the Ring matches going on throughout the night. On the pre-show, of course, the Sunday Night Heat matches included the Hardy Boys fighting Edge and Christian to a no contest, #1 contender spot for the WWE Tag Team title. Mideon and Viscera defeated the Big Boss Man in a handicap match. Of course, the bracket for the night saw, of course, in the first rounds, Mr. Ass and Viscera, Ken Shamrock, and but here, the bracket. So, anyways, on this date, 25 years ago today, the King of the Ring happened in Greensboro Coliseum from the WWF. So with that, moving on to the final piece of niche history. And on this date in 2019, 5 years ago today, J.C. Statt's Million Author completed its run on Japanese television on this date back in 2019. It was an anime adaptation of the Million Author series by Sunrise Enix. I think it's a game, I guess. So anyways, with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Tomorrow night, of course, I'll have Apex Comics with me, and we'll be continuing our coverage of March of 1940 of comics that went on sale in March of 1940. We'll be, of course, focusing in on Marvel comics. We'll be reading such features as the Human Torch, Namor, Purple Mask, and let's see, Marvek's Super Robot. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.